I would like to introduce you to a new package we like to call Voices from the Outdoors.
That's right, we do this every day. We've done it Monday and Tuesday, and now we're doing it today, which of course is Wednesday. And this is cool, Scott. We were in Salt Lake the other day. Now it's Maui. Ian Walsh, a pro surfer, hooking up with the cattle ranchers, which is incredible, the impacts that they have on popular surfing areas.
Voices from the Outdoors.
My name's Jordan Jokeel. I grew up on Oahu. I've been working for Haleakala Ranch as the Vice President of Land Management for almost 10 years now.
My name is Ian Walsh, and I am a professional surfer from Maui, Hawaii.
Have you been up on Haleakala Ranch?
I have, yeah. I camped. I couldn't believe, like, once you're up there, like, how expansive that is.
That's huge. It's, like, iconic.
I've grown up using, essentially, this ranch as a large part of where I'm triangulating in the lineups. My connection to ranching is relatively minimal, but growing up on Maui and going to school, what we call upcountry, at Kinkekalike, Kalama, and Makawao Elementary, you grow up around a lot of Paneolos.
One of the things that's really become important, even since I was a kid, and I grew up on the ocean, my dad's a marine biologist down in Kaneohe, so we grew up on the water. There's been this greater awareness of Maukatu Makai and how everything is connected, you know, so not just recreation, but also protection and conservation and stewardship. Haleakala Ranch landscape has never been tilled. We don't, you know, fertilize. We keep as much of the soil armored with grass as we can, so the soil and the carbon in the soil is really high, and it's actually higher than some of the native forests above ground carbon. The work we do up in these mid-elevations, high elevations, whether it's on a ranch, in a native forest, in a managed forest, there's a connectivity directly to the ocean, because whatever we do, you know, literally 5 miles within this watershed, Mauka, affects, you know, your quality of water, everything.
As a surfer, like, how much that happens on the mountains and on land feeds directly into us. All those primary surf breaks that we all know and love come from some form of river, essentially.
It's interesting because there's so much thought that they put into managing these pastures. At 6:15 every morning, they talk about what's the feed like. Honestly, they're sitting there saying, okay, the feed's coming in, the feed's strong here, oh, we got to move the herd out because we're running out of feed. You know, they're always thinking ahead, and I didn't know that was that calculus.
It's like the surf condition.
Totally. Right, what's the tide, right? What's the wind?
Wind angle.
Right, what board do you bring? All of it. It's interesting, yeah. Cattle, if they're used wisely, you know, when we move them through, our cowboys have a practice of only taking half the above ground feed, and then below ground, actually half that amount, roughly, in biomass, just sloughs off into the soil, and that contributes carbon and other things, and it creates more vigorous growth above ground.
That's so interesting to me, because I would like have zero understanding of any of that and how methodical it is to piece that all together. Well, and essentially, like, everything that surfers are, you know, passionately connected to, with, you know, preserving our oceans and our coastlines for future generations to use them the same way we have and enjoy them the same way we have. It comes from, you know, a lot of an understanding of what's feeding into those oceans, and it's pretty cool to see, like, how much that changed. Like, I didn't know any of that about how these pastures can sustain themselves just by grazing cattle on them. Our event, the Menehune Mayhem, has done a pretty good job of transferring information in, like, a creative, interactive way that they can actually get their hands on. They can understand why we do beach cleanups, why we use reusable water bottles, and kind of these little systems in place to, like, make it fun for them and engaging.
I think for climate change, it's just really important, as much as anyone can, you know, Haleakala Ranch and other large landowners, is to build ecological resilience in what you have. So diversifying your pastures so they don't catastrophically fail if a pest comes in, diversifying your forests, diversifying even your economic business model so you don't rely on just one thing.
Yeah.
And what's nice about pastures is that you have, like, we're looking out at 6,000 acres of low fuel. You know, I mean, how else are you going to do that? You're either going to build a subdivision that's paved and hardened with gutters and fire hydrants, build the golf course, you know, or you're going to mow it.
A lot of times, you know, we become fixated on the coastlines and the surf and the ocean that we're actually in, but when you actually turn around and look up at the mountains, like everything feeds into both sides of it.
You got to take care of these places.
Absolutely.
You know.
Hey, that's brought to you by the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, a contractor to the beef checkoff. To learn more, visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com and join us tomorrow as we head to the Flint Hills of Kansas.
That's your favorite website, isn't it?
It is one of my, I mean, it's up there.
It's absolutely amazing.
Incredible.